All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something intense today, making life or death decisions when the clock is literally ticking down. And we're going to frame this through a really powerful concept, something called the yoga of decisive action. Just imagine hearing those words. That single sentence was spoken by a senior doctor to a junior resident after a tiny hesitation, just 20 seconds. And it cuts right to the heart of what we're talking about, the absolutely deadly cost of waiting for perfect information when you're in a crisis. So where does that quote come from? Well, it's from a high-stakes medical simulation. And in it, we're watching two junior doctors, Amrit and Purva, who are facing this critical moment, and they just freeze. They get trapped by what we're going to call the paralysis of perfect certainty. Okay, so here's the scene. The monitor is showing a lethal heart rhythm. The right move? An immediate electrical shock. But Dr. Amred, he hesitates for 20 agonizing seconds. He's just staring at the screen, worried that maybe it's a technical glitch, what they call an artifact. He's searching for absolute 100% certainty when every single second is a matter of life and death. This is where their mentor, Dr. SB, steps in, and he drops this incredibly profound lesson on them, one that actually draws from the ancient teachings of Krishna to the warrior Arjuna. He calls it the action of inaction, this idea that choosing to do nothing, well, that's an action too, and it has its own, often devastating consequences. And this is such a powerful way to reframe it, right? We usually think of inaction as just pausing, a neutral state. But in a crisis, it's not neutral at all. It is an active choice to delay, and it comes with real, measurable, and often tragic results. And how measurable are those outcomes? Terrifyingly. For this specific type of cardiac arrest, every single minute you delay defibrillation, the patient's chance of survival drops by a staggering 7 to 10%. Every single minute. And you can see here just how fast that window of opportunity slams shut. If you act within 3 to 5 minutes, you're looking at a 50 to 70% chance of survival. Wait until 8 minutes, it's down to 20 to 30. And after 10 minutes, forget about it. It plummets to less than 5%. The time it takes to deliver that shock is the single biggest factor in whether someone lives or dies. So this brings us to the crucial lesson, the huge mental shift that has to happen. It's about moving away from this impossible hunt for perfect certainty and instead embracing a new mental model for a crisis, acting on sufficient certainty. And I mean, the comparison could not be more stark. Look at this. On the left, you have the quest for perfect certainty. That leads to over 20 seconds of analyzing, confirming, double-checking, and the result? A dead patient. Now look at the right. Acting on sufficient certainty. You identify the rhythm, charge the machine, shock. It takes less than 10 seconds. And the result? You've given that patient the best possible chance to live. But here's the question that haunts everybody in these situations, isn't it? It's the fear of being wrong. What if I act and I've made a mistake? So you know what? Let's actually break down the consequences of being wrong in either direction. This table just lays it all out with cold, hard logic. Let's look at the two ways you can be wrong. Error number 1. The rhythm is real, it's deadly, and you wait. The consequence? The patient dies. It is catastrophic and irreversible. Okay, now error number 2. The screen is just showing a glitch, an artifact, and you deliver a shock. The consequence? The patient, who is already technically dead, gets a shock they didn't need. It's a non-fatal, totally correctable mistake. When you look at it like this, the calculation is crystal clear. And this gets right to the psychological core of the whole problem. Dr. SB tells the junior doctors, your hesitation isn't protecting the patient. It's protecting your ego. Wow, what a harsh but powerful truth. The fear isn't just about harming the patient. A lot of the time, it's the fear of looking incompetent, of being wrong in front of your colleagues. So we've seen how dangerous hesitation is. But what happens when you flip the switch? When you get it right? It's about so much more than just the patient's outcome. It's about how a leader's decisiveness can create confidence and incredible momentum for the entire team. You know, leadership in a crisis is totally contagious. When a leader hesitates, you can almost feel the doubt ripple through the room. But when that leader makes a clear, decisive call, boom, it creates confidence, it generates forward momentum. Like it says here, the team doesn't need a perfect leader, they need a decisive one. And we actually get to see this transformation happen. They run the simulation again, but this time, Dr. Amrit sees the rhythm, and he just acts. VF, charging, clear, shocking. The shock is delivered in 7 seconds. And the best part? His teammate, Dr. Purva, trusts his call instantly. No questions, no hesitation, just action. And then comes the real test. A code blue pager goes off. It's a real emergency. And in that moment, Dr. Amrit takes charge, delivering a shock in under 6 seconds. The team works like a well-oiled machine, and the patient is saved. The lesson from the simulation? It actually worked when it mattered most. So let's tie all of this together into one final powerful framework. It's what we called at the beginning, the yoga of action. And it's all about adopting a warrior's mindset, not just in medicine, but really in any high-stakes situation you can imagine. And it breaks down into this beautiful, simple, threefold path. Step 1, act decisively. When it's time to act, you act, no hesitation. Step 2, act perfectly. You bring all of your skill, all of your training to perform that action as best you possibly can. And then, the crucial third step, release the outcome. You have to detach from the results because at the end of the day, they are never entirely in your control. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. It takes this specific lesson from medicine and elevates it to a universal principle for life. Sufficient information, decisive action, perfect technique, and release the outcome. This isn't just for doctors. This is a mindset for anyone who has to lead or make critical choices when the pressure is on. And that brings us right to the end, to the one crucial question we should all be asking ourselves. In your work, in your life, where is hesitation protecting your ego but costing you the outcome? A really powerful thought to end on.